Hello and welcome back to the ZymCast. Thank you for joining us. I am your host, Chase Matherly.
I'm also here. I'm Kyle Grubb.
And we're joined by our producer, Cheyenne, as always.
And
Hello.
also, we're joining her. It is her house.
Yes.
I'm always going to add this until you fix this intro.
No. What's up, Kyle? How you been?
I've been good. Work's been, work. Not too bad.
Yeah.
The main Captain Marvel rush has died down a little bit, so things are a tiny bit more normalized.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm making my way through...
Downtown, walking fast.
How'd you know?
I don't think we can play that, guys.
Are you spying on me?
No.
I just yesterday I finished Ni no Kuni 2. Very good JRPG from last year that I just totally missed.
Talking about that before.
Yeah, so I just finished it yesterday right before I had to head to work. So now I'm going to work on the Platinum, trying to finish that before next Friday when Sekiro Shadows Die Twice comes out.
Oh yes, that's pretty soon. I thought it was further out.
No, it is literally less than a week away.
Well,
because we're recording this on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Top of the morning to you, everybody. We're we having our St. Patrick's Day episode with nothing at all to do with Irish stuff.
All right, let it be known that I can do.
You actually,
accent, but
that wasn't that bad.
That was pretty good.
I just can't maintain any accent that I do.
No,
so
you can't.
I shouldn't try.
All starts to morph.
Yeah, but let it be known that Kyle is not wearing green, and I already pensioned for that.
Yeah, I'm a bad person.
I'm wearing green.
That's yellow.
No, like the thing on the
Green.
that
Green.
has very trace amounts of green.
Yeah,
It's close enough.
I don't
I
think that
wear
counts.
all black. It counts.
At least I'm not like fake.
You have a green shirt.
Yeah, but she's not wearing it today.
Do I?
Yeah.
I wouldn't
I
know,
do.
but I'm going to assume you have probably more than just black,
Yeah.
Cheyenne.
I'm wearing.
I pretty much have black.
I'm kind of have my bases covered. I have a green.
He has
green on
every
my
color
sweater,
under the rainbow.
And then my shirt is a
Gross.
link
Color.
She's
shirt,
like
so it's
stripping
green.
in front of us. I'm so glad you guys can't see this.
No.
Just like pulling up that jacket. Like,
Yeah, I gotta let it
just
be.
tweaking your
let
nipples.
I gotta show my link. Okay. All right. So
What have you been up to the last week?
Not much. I've been watching more trailers that have been dropping.
Oh,
Got that Endgame 2.
Endgame 2.
I mean, that's
it's a sequel to Endgame already?
The second Endgame trailer.
Yeah.
I
mean,
would say
that's all
much-
anybody's talking about.
Much better trailer than the first one.
I don't get what people were having problems with the first Endgame trailer.
I didn't care for it just because it didn't do anything for me at all. Like,
I mean, they're calling these trailers, but these are like teasers,
yeah.
and you're never getting more than they're giving you.
The last one
You're
was a
never
lot of
kidding.
flashbacks too.
I mean, this one.
This one? You mean?
This one.
Yeah, this the one that just.
Oh yeah. But-
Almost as if that might be alluding to something of the movie itself.
Yeah, but like.
Like, is it going to involve time travel?
Yeah, that's a
That's the big theory, right?
yeah.
And definitely Set Photos did not in any way support that or deny that.
What color is Black Widow's hair?
It's blonde and red and longer and shorter all over that trailer.
Yeah.
I wonder if this movie's going to take place over an extended period of time.
Yeah, but I mean, I called it last episode. I think that her hair is going to be red again. So
Well, I
I'd
mean-
like to chalk that up to,
Okie dokie.
Whoop-de-doo for you.
I'm so proud of you, Chase. You should
Oh.
wear that hat all the way to the bank.
see now I'm not as hyped that I was right.
Congratulations. You guessed that a character who almost always a redhead for one movie was not a redhead is going to be a redhead again. A person infamously who has never had the same hair color twice or like the same hairstyle twice in any movie she's been in. Also like to note, like, we have Hawkeye, Ronan, now. He when we first see him in the trailer, pretty much like really like buzz cut hair, and then he's got like a mohawk. So like clearly this is just like everybody's just going through hairstyles. Captain America, beard, no beard, hard to say. Like where are we gonna land at? Probably no beard.
I like the beard.
It's just a beard of sorrow. I guess like the theory behind him having the beard was just because he's like in hiding.
Yeah, same thing with her hair.
Yeah, but like no one's not gonna recognize them. They're still like in their uniforms going around fighting crime.
That and Scarlet Witch looked exactly the same.
Right?
Not all of them were
Scarlet Witch
like that.
died.
Oh, we're talking about in
the
Infinity
last
War?
movie.
Oh,
You know what we were just talking about?
oh spoiler alert.
I think
I think
all they
everybody
did
knows.
for Scarlet Witch is at one point she's wearing a baseball hat.
That's true. Everyone knows baseball hats. Perfect cover. Like
Yeah,
as we
perfect
learned
disguise.
in Captain America Winter Soldier when he just wears that baseball hat and he just walks right by those guys. I'm like, They're looking for him.
He looks down just slightly with the baseball hat. No one notices him.
I'd also like to make the argument in that movie, like there's that scene where, like, you know, she's like, "Kiss me." Nobody pays attention. I'm like, I always like annoyingly pay attention to couples that are like making out in public. I'm like, why are you doing this?
And she's a redhead. Like, you're definitely gonna notice.
I would have looked right at them and go like, why are they? That's fucking Captain America, Black Widow.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
No,
I've
you don't.
definitely seen that movie.
You're so lame. It's such a great movie.
Yeah, before Endgame, I'm gonna see them all, I think.
You don't have long.
Isn't that next month?
It is. You have slightly longer than a month to catch up. Work fast.
Well, I mean, I've only missed like 5.
You've missed more than 5. You've missed more than 4.
I thought I went through it.
You had seen more than we thought, but you'd missed quite a bit.
I don't remember.
It's fine.
Yeah, but
yeah, Black Widow, her hair, you know, she's a strong, independent woman.
Yeah, hairstyles are so important to movies too, you know.
It's true.
Just can't go through a movie without talking about characters' hair.
I guess.
Majorly important.
I mean, you know, you got to have that big conversation. Like, what's your favorite Black Widow hairstyle?
Oh no! Well, which Black Widow hairstyle are you?
You know, there's like 13
quiz.
BuzzFeed quizzes about that. They got to add to it like every single time.
Yeah. So I mean, speaking of people that died.
Oh my God.
Well,
Stan Lee.
Oh, Baby Groot.
Why you gotta bring this up again?
Or not Baby Groot, Teenage Groot. Sorry.
Yeah, but like, yeah, Teenage Groot. And his final words.
The only member of the Guardians that's left is Rocky Raccoon.
Correct.
Poor little Rocket.
No, I mean,
Well, then with all these sequels that we're gonna get.
I wonder if the Guardians are coming back.
Yeah. Well, Guardians Volume 3, perhaps. Not a controversy over that.
No. Okay. So, we are now 2 days out from the announcement that James Gunn has been rehired as the director for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say a pretty shocking revelation for a lot of people. I thought we were well past the point where that was considered an option.
I don't know. I mean, well, obviously not.
Obviously not. Yes, but like I had assumed, like there were conversations. There were conversations with like Bob Iger and Marvel and stuff where they were like, "Can we make this work?" And it seemed like it was a pretty stern no.
I don't know. Yeah, I felt like they wouldn't be able to do another Guardians without James Gunn.
I don't disagree with that strictly. I mean, I know they were like supposedly like shopping around. They're saying that they didn't end up looking for other directors. I believe that is a lot of horseshit.
Yeah.
But they very much were kind of in a pickle because those movies are incredibly popular. Those characters are incredibly popular. And those characters are also quintessentially James Gunn's.
Yeah.
Those characters were so iconic, the way they talk so iconic, that they had James Gunn come in and write all of their dialogue for Avengers 3 and 4.
Really?
Yes.
Whoa.
I mean, apparently they were still going to use his script for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Oh, imagine being fired off of your movie and
he'd still get paid for the script and stuff.
I mean, that's like you wouldn't be able to direct that though.
I know. Well, like Batista definitely the most like outspoken of the cast members about his support for James Gunn, basically saying like he would not return if they didn't use the script at the very least. But yeah, that was a whole mess. So yeah, for anybody who doesn't know somehow, last July, I'm pretty sure.
I don't even know.
There you go. Last July, a group of people who were on a crusade against James Gunn had unearthed, I say unearthed, just, you know, brought to light a bunch of, let's just say, slightly heinous tweets that he had posted between like 2009 and like 2012, 2008 to 2012. Okay. So like there was some, let's just say unflattering tweets. Like, I mean, the classic. I like it when little boys touch me in my silly place.
Oh my God. I haven't read these, but...
my new film, Jerk Loose, a small town where beating off is illegal and one high school kid jerks off in front of the others to show them how fun it is.
Oh, what the fuck?
I mean, it's not good. 3 men and a baby they had sex with. Hashtag unromantic movies. Yeah. Oh, or I like this one. I don't know if this is necessarily super pedophilic, but it's just wrong.
Oh, okay, you said you like it, and you don't know if it's super pedophilic.
No. Okay, no. Me saying I like this one is very much sarcasm.
Okay.
But like, this hotel shower is the weakest ever. Felt like a 3-year-old was peeing on my head.
Oh no.
Yeah. So as you can understand, some people not fans of these tweets.
Oh no.
I get it. Those are some messed up fucking things to say. I don't think anybody's arguing that they're not. But like, you read that stuff and you definitely, some part of you kind of questions like, who would do that on a public forum?
Yeah. And that also comes down to like, is he being serious? Was he just joking?
I mean,
At the same time, those jokes are like weird.
Yeah.
Like, why would you even go there?
Exactly. Well, okay. So James Gunn was like, a lot of his early days were defined by his work with trauma. I don't know if you know what trauma is.
Not familiar.
It's definitely for the best. Trauma is like a small little independent film and distribution like company. They make some not good movies. As in like, I mean, the movies are not of high quality.
Say Poultrygeist?
Yeah. There's like The Toxic Avenger, Tromeo and Juliet, Class of Nukem High, Surf Nazis Must Die. Like they're entertaining, but the content of these movies is truly disturbing.
Okay.
And they like lean into it. Like, we're talking like incest, and not like
fun.
Not like, oh, frowned upon, like, oh, how titillating this incest. And like, I mean, like torture and just gore, like it's just a fucked up mess where they're just like, we're just gonna make the shit that entertains. And like, that's like the environment that like James Gunn was like cultivated in.
And when was he active in this?
I mean, he was active for like a lot of like, I think like the 90s. Before he started like going off and doing his own thing. So I think like he himself described himself as like a provocateur. Like he would say things just to like provoke a reaction.
That's what those tweets seem like.
Yeah, I agree. But like, it's so like the big debate is like whether or not he should be allowed to work for like Marvel, for Disney, after having said those kinds of things. And I can kind of see both sides of this.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, there's the side against James Gunn where you basically are like, hey, like, he said all this terrible stuff. Like, first of all, some people are like, is this man a pedophile? I don't think so. I think probably not. I think if you were a pedophile, you'd at least be smart enough to not be just constantly posting for years about your pedophilic intentions. I'd like to think that at least. But at the same time, even if he's not a pedophile, which again, I don't think he is, you know, that's not necessarily a good look for Disney, having somebody like that representing them. Mm-hmm. The counter argument is these were made years ago, long before he started working for Disney.
Yeah, and that's a lot of the thing about like the art versus the artist, or artist versus the art.
That's a fine line to separate.
Yeah, and it's like, is this indicative of his current, like how he's acting or his character, like while he's working with Disney? Does it matter things in his past that he like isn't proud of, or you know?
So, I mean, James Gunn has gone on record. Like, he addressed these tweets years before they were brought back up. Kind of like, yo, I said some bad stuff in my past. I don't believe any of this. Like, this isn't who I am anymore. I've moved on. I'm a better person. Don't define me by my worst period of time. And I mean, I agree with that, definitely to a certain extent. But also, yeah, the question really is more than just like the artist versus like the art. And that's like a whole different debate. It's really about time and whether people like can fundamentally change, I think. Like, is he just on his best behavior right now because he's like working for Disney and like needs to be good, or is like he really past that point in his time? It seems like from a lot of people that like give testimony about who he is, he isn't that person anymore. He's kind of like matured. Mm-hmm. At the same time, you got to think though, like these tweets were like up through like 2012. That's not that long ago. That was like 7 years ago. First Guardians came out, 2014. So it's like 2 years later.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of puts things in context.
Yeah. Wait, it came out 2 years later? So how long were they working on that film?
Like a year. Probably a little longer. Yeah, so he probably like posted that, like started working for Disney. He's like, I probably shouldn't do this anymore.
Exactly.
Which at least, wisdom. Wisdom that was sorely lacking when he was posting this stuff for years. Yeah. I mean, it's not funny, those kinds of jokes. I don't think anybody's really arguing that they're funny, though. He claims them as jokes. I take them as jokes, but they're not funny. And it's not the kind of thing to make fun of. That being said, where do you stand on the should we or should we not have rehired James Gunn? I like throwing you under the bus on the internet.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, I don't think they could have done another Guardians without James Gunn. Even if they were to use a script, like another director could have butchered the way, like, it played out.
Mm-hmm.
And so, since those characters are so quintessentially James Gunn, and the directing of it is so quintessentially James Gunn, I feel like they wouldn't have been able to make another Guardians. And I want another Guardians.
So you're selfish.
Yeah, it's all selfish. I'm willing to forgive past transgressions as long as they're not current, I would say.
You're willing to forgive past transgressions as long as they give you more art that you like?
Yes, I like it. So please apologize for your wrong sayings.
He has, to be fair, multiple
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. I mean, I hope that's sincere.
I do too.
And not just like, oh fuck, I'm in trouble, or I'm gonna get in trouble. I should probably, say the things were bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to say. We never know the celebrities or the high profile people directly. But I'm definitely I lean a bit more towards the middle, but I wanted him rehired.
Yeah. Same.
I mean, again, I do love those movies. The original Guardians of the Galaxy, probably my third favorite Marvel movie.
It's really good.
It is a great movie. Second one's also very good. Some people kind of give it a bad rap. I don't think it's as good as the first one.
I prefer it to the first one.
I mean, see, again, I can totally understand why. I just think the first one's like a tighter movie. Second one meanders a long time,
I would agree.
but the character work is way better.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's kind of where I fall. Cheyenne, what's your vote? Yay or nay?
I'm cool with it.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, no one has ever come out saying he's done anything
Mhm.
like some other actors like Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
All right.
Like it's just his words, not any actions.
Okay.
That so far anyway.
Yeah.
And these people who went back and tried to pull up tweets, like these are all past tweets. There's nothing from like his current time.
Mhm.
And yeah, it may be because he's working for Disney, but if he was truly a bad person, he would slip at some point. And he didn't. You said he had already apologized, right?
Yeah.
It
Yeah, he had
seemed-
publicly apologized.
like that
for
had
the
been
tweets.
before they even brought the stuff up.
Mhm.
So I'm cool with it.
Yeah. It's more just like one of those like slap on the wrist, like do not do this again,
Yeah.
James. I swear to God.
Yeah, I mean, like there are similar things with other celebrities that have like again, it's just that they've said things in the past that are
You were
not
treading
so
into
good.
some dangerous waters here, Chase.
No,
I'm
just
warning
saying,
you now.
I'm just saying it is. We're seeing that more and more with like people apologizing for his past tweets, and is it really indicative of their character or like the time period that is framed around? Like, what was more acceptable of like saying, even if it wasn't necessarily their beliefs? I don't know. I'm not gonna give examples or
Yeah.
give my opinion on specific people, but
Probably wise.
yeah,
That was also a very different time period from now too.
exactly.
It's easy to think like, oh, 2012, that was like 7 years ago, but like things were really
Like,
different 7 years ago.
Everyone's mad about everything now, and back then it wasn't as bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, still bad.
Yeah,
Still
but
bad
not
things
like
that he said, but
not like now. Yeah, it's still really bad what he said, but
yeah.
obviously a lot of people weren't as alarmed for
He-
some reason.
Yeah, he got away with this for
Yeah,
years.
because,
Nobody
Yeah.
cared
like,
back then
no
that
one
much.
cared. Why, when Guardians of the Galaxy, like the first one came out, no one said anything. They're like, oh, hey, this guy's not, like, he says some weird stuff on the
Yeah,
internet.
there's
That was
n-
only 2 years later.
Yeah, there's no way Disney did not know about those
Yeah,
tweets. I
like-
just like to point that out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because, like, I'm sure they do a background check, right?
They would have to.
yeah,
That would
Especially
be
Disney.
incredibly irresponsible of them.
Yeah, they totally do. There was Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yeah.
You know who she
Yeah,
is? Yeah.
yes.
So she was supposed to play a character in Bolt. She was supposed to be the lead actress, but because of her past films, they're
What?
like, "Oh no, you can't. We don't want you here anymore
Yeah.
because
I love her.
you act
Yeah.
in some really weird movies. We don't want that image." So they totally knew that James Gunn had like said this kind of stuff. They're like, no one seems to care.
Yeah,
We'll go with it.
I remember the Bolt thing. They're like, yeah, we don't want kids like falling in love with you as like the voice of this little girl and then going to try and watch Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
Kick-Ass is awesome.
I mean, yes, Kick-Ass is awesome, but probably shouldn't be watched by like 8-year-old girls.
Yeah. I mean, also to be fair though, a lot of animated movies, I don't think kids really pair the voice to the actor.
I don't disagree, but Disney is paranoid as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably wisely,
But
considering the position.
obviously not that paranoid.
Yeah. I feel like that was like a long conversation before James Gunn got hired. Where it's like, hey, no,
This is like, well, I mean, when they would have hired him, it would have been like a year.
Yeah,
Or,
like
less,
that's
maybe.
that's pretty recent to when he
Yeah.
did this.
It also must say a lot for what they believe James Gunn's role in the movie is, that
Mhm.
they're willing to overlook this because they're Disney. They can get some like good directors if they want.
Yeah, but
and they
well, I mean-
obviously are like, we need him.
I mean, the
for this
one,
movie.
the Guardians of the Galaxy section of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is, I'd say very distinct.
It's so good.
Uh,
It's my favorite part of the universe, I would say.
because I mean, you can watch like a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. They're honestly fairly homogenized. They're filmed very similarly.
Mhm.
They have a similar look. Some people say like it's kind of a boring look, to be honest. Like the films are competently made, but they have a very like muted color palette. They all look very much the same. And yeah, some people try and say it's because like they want to give the universe like a, you know, like a collective feel to it, so
Right.
that it all like gels together. And then you have like the Guardians movies. They're like, fuck that. we believe in the full color palette, and we are gonna milk it until we run out of color.
Yeah, well, I mean, in Infinity War, like when that scene,
Yes.
that, like, introduced Guardians, I'm like, oh, was it Rubber Band Man that was playing?
Yep.
Yeah, I
Rubber
was
Band
like,
Man. And it's just
oh
like,
my fucking god, I
man,
love
yeah.
that scene.
What a pivot in that movie where you're just like, okay, we're watching a movie, all of a sudden you see space, and you're like, that's hilarious. And then you just hear Rubber Band Man, you're like, we're back.
Yes, Guardians.
Yeah. So I think those characters, it's funny to think that like in 2011, 2012, 2013, nobody gave a shit about those characters. Like diehard comic book fans kind of
Yeah.
gave a shit about Rocket Raccoon and Groot. And like that's it. And a lot of people, like some people knew who Rocket Raccoon was strictly because he was in Marvel versus Capcom 3.
Right.
And that's it.
That's how I knew him.
There you
I
go.
didn't know the others.
That's fine. Most people didn't. I remember like actual comic book fans are like, these guys? Bold strategy, Marvel. Everybody was certain this movie was going to fucking fail.
I remember that too.
See, when it came out, I actually had seen it in a drive-in.
Wait, there are still drive-ins?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still driving.
Yeah, I saw it in a drive-in.
my
I
God.
did not pay attention at all.
What the hell is wrong
Well,
with
I didn't care for it, and then I rewatched it, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck was I missing? Like, how did I?
I remember
How was this
exactly
playing? I
where
didn't
I
pay
was
attention.
when I watched that movie. It was amazing.
I think this just
Okay.
proves why there shouldn't be drive-ins. You clearly couldn't focus on an amazing movie playing in front of you.
True. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, it's hard to argue with like the quality of the Guardians. Like the core team, especially from like the first movie, those are just 5 really great characters that you fall in love with. Like, I mean, you gotta freaking somehow they managed to take a team. It's like a talking raccoon, a tree,
A tree that only says 3 words.
a tree that said, "Hey, 4 words."
Forward.
He definitely gained the ability to say the word "we."
Yeah. Once.
Just an alien who does not understand metaphor, a human being
He's the best.
obsessed with just like pop culture from his childhood, and the only competent person in the room, a badass assassin.
She's the best.
Oh,
Oh my
she's so good.
gosh.
No, I mean it's easy to love Gamora. I do love how she is easily the most competent and badass person there.
Yeah, she could have. I feel that character of Gamora definitely could have been utilized more.
Yes.
As a badass character, that they definitely let her in as like, you know, this badass assassin, and throughout she is like, she shows her competency in as a foil to Peter Quill.
Yes.
But I mean, they definitely could have done more with her character, I feel. But in terms of like other female leads, because she definitely is a strong female character, I would say supporting,
Mhm.
right? But we've seen pretty recently a good amount of media, like film and TV shows, that feature a leading female character
Mhm.
that's really powerful, and I love it, right?
I'm such a feminist, James.
Well,
He's
you know,
more of a feminist than I am.
Why do I not doubt that?
yeah. Well, I mean, a little bit about my background. I feel like that's where where it kind of comes from.
He was born a young girl with a heart of gold.
Yes. No, I was raised by a single mother, and she has kind of been my role model in a lot of sense, just because like she's, you know, like a strong woman that
Mhm.
stands for herself, right? And I feel kind of gonna get a little bit Oedipus up in here. That's
Oh no! Please don't.
no, I don't know if that's why I'm like I look to media like that, or like I'm attracted to women like that. Like
Cheyenne is looking very uncomfortable right now.
I've already heard part of this conversation, so I know where it's
Why
going.
did you have to take this here?
I don't know. It's a fun conversation.
Just keep going, please. Let's just get past this to the fun part.
No.
No.
But yeah, I feel like that's also why, you know, Cheyenne's awesome, right? She's a badass.
Oh, I mean, Cheyenne's definitely a badass.
Yeah, that's funny because when
I don't know if you deserve her.
when,
You know, that's not the first time I've heard that.
when we first met, like she was always made out to be like this like scary person, right? Like everyone's afraid of Cheyenne. She like beat you up.
Which is hilarious. I'm only 5'2".
You're a scary 5'2".
Yeah. But like I was saying, in media, those characters are kind of the ones not that I've identified most with, because you know I'm not a woman. But
Are you sure?
Sometimes you describe yourself as one, honey.
I mean, you literally did when you pitched this topic.
okay.
It's true.
It's 2019. You can be whatever you want. If you feel like a woman, be a woman.
Hey, you got the hair for it.
God, I wish you guys could see this man's hair.
Yeah.
It is majestic.
Yeah. Thank you. But those are definitely characters that I am interested in the most. Right.
Mhm.
They're the stories that I read the most, that I like watch the most. And it's really important for like female representation in modern media to have a kind of role model figure for little girls and little people to look up to, because like for so long we've had, you know, badass male characters and like everyone's like, oh, Batman. You know, these awesome characters that can kick ass, and then once you introduce their female counterparts, awesome, right?
Yes.
I would say the first notable one in
It's in your like little mindset about it.
well, in terms of like chronology, it's hard to miss Ellen Ripley, Sigourney Weaver's Ellen Ripley in Alien.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
iconic as hell.
Yeah,
It's easy to forget, like nowadays, if you watch Alien. It's easy to forget that you do not know she's the main character for the first half of that movie.
mm-hmm.
It's very much made out to be the captain of the ship.
Yeah.
And then he's just unceremoniously killed in an air duct. And this badass woman just takes over.
She's so cool. And then a few years later, Sarah Connor. Not so much in Terminator, the first one. But
No, but definitely in the
in
second.
Judgment Day, yeah.
Actually, I really appreciate Sarah Connor's role in Terminator 2.
Mhm.
So many times in a lot of movies, they're just like, oh, this woman's a badass, and oh, she's just so cool, and oh, everyone wants to be her. Like, what's really awesome about Sarah Connor, I think, in Terminator 2 is that, like, she is not a character to idolize. She's a badass. And, like, she's been training her life for this. And it, like, did things to her. And it kind of, like, broke her in certain ways.
Yeah.
Which I think is, like, realistic and interesting and not something you see a lot. Like, she makes mistakes, bad judgment calls,
Judgment Day.
and, like, was not a great mom. But you love her anyway because you understand, like, where her heart is. And, like, everything she was doing was for, like, the greater good.
Yeah. That's, like, really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get, like, the character of Lara Croft in Tomb Raider. Angelina Jolie's version, I prefer Alicia Vikander.
I believe this is now the third episode in a row where Alicia Vikander's Tomb Raider has come up in conversation.
Oh my god. Yeah. But I mean,
I've still not seen this movie.
it's a good movie. Well, I mean, you've played the first game. You've
Yeah, I
seen the
played
movie.
the game. The first reboot.
Yeah, the first reboot. Sorry. Then you've seen the movie basically.
Yeah, I mean, Lara Croft, you know, a little bit sexualized, I'd say.
Yeah,
especially in like
that's
the
why
older
I
games.
like the newer version, because she's less sexualized.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's stuff that comes with sexualization of characters, but it's like it's not necessary.
No.
Right. But I think the first one, notably to me when I was growing up, was I think Aeon Flux, Charlize Theron's Aeon Flux.
I hope that even little you understood that was not a good movie.
Looking back,
don't think
I
it
have
did.
not seen it in years.
Don't.
And it
It'll
still
prob-
holds up in my mind. So
Okay, cool.
I don't
Never
wanna see
watch it again. You'll always have an enjoyable movie in your mind that only you liked.
But I mean, okay, Charlize Theron as an actress, anything she plays, so good. Like when she was in Atomic Blonde.
Mhm.
Oh, that movie was so awesome.
Or oh god, your favorite movie, Mad Max Fury Road.
Never seen it. I mean, there's that poster staring at us right there.
It's still heinous. You haven't seen that movie. It's great.
I mean, well, how was her character? Can you?
I mean, her character's honestly like it's. I think some people had it as a complaint, but like she's the real main character of that movie. She's the real hero, and she's awesome. It's hard to like go into why she's awesome without actually like specifically watching the movie.
Yeah, you have to have watched the movie to understand her character too. But since you're talking about this topic, I would say she would be my female role model of all female leads in any movie. I think that character specifically would be the one I'd pick to look up to.
Well, I definitely have to see it now.
Yeah,
You
I've been
should have
telling
seen it
you
years
for
ago.
years.
Oh, well.
I saw that in a theater in Arizona.
I saw that at the theater we worked at.
There you go.
I saw it like 3 times
uh,
in the same week because it was that good.
oh.
Yep. No, I mean that movie is.
Well, I mean, I'm not
Damn
familiar
good.
with the Mad Max series at all.
You don't need to be.
Okay.
You don't need to.
I mean, they were aware of that. They
You
hadn't
can
made one.
totally ignore all of them.
Okay.
This
Yeah.
is the best.
Okay.
Which is a bold statement, but I have seen all the movies and I choose to make this one my favorite.
I mean, it's not that hard. There's only 3 other movies.
Yeah.
Beyond Thunderdome is not good. The first one's dated as hell. Most people would argue like Mad Max 2 was the best.
Yeah, I think if I had to pick from the older ones, the second one would be the one I'd pick, but like this is so much better.
I think I'm just going to stick to this one.
And I
It's
think
totally fine.
it's so cool though because it's the exact same director and he totally just like he was
Really?
like
Mhm.
this is my series and I'm going to make it better.
Yeah, he's been trying to make this movie for like the entire time between the third movie and this one. Like he was just working on it, couldn't get it right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He chose the time perfectly because he honed in on his characters and it was so good.
And they do a lot with so little in that movie.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it has to do with Charlize Theron because she's an amazing actress.
Yes.
But the writing of her character is so good too. Because you don't start off knowing because you know Mad Max, you know the series, you know he's like probably going to be the main character, but he's so not the main character.
He's the viewpoint character.
Yeah.
Like you follow him through like the beginning of the movie and stuff, and you never like stray far from him, but she's the person who's like driving the plot.
Mm-hmm. And she is literally a driver in the movie.
Oh.
And
I like the sound of this.
yeah,
It's awesome.
I know. I keep telling you to watch this.
But and
You're not describing it this way.
what?
She never described it this way.
No, and like honestly, like
I shouldn't need to.
it's easy to discount Max in that movie, but like the relationship between them two is like really well developed.
Yeah.
And like super cool as they transition from like combative strangers to like partners that are like working together on this.
Dope.
And
it's really awesome.
I would say this is like the ultimate feminist movie since we're on this topic because he literally at one point realizes she's the better shot and lets her take over. And in a lot of movies, the woman has to like fight her way to the top. And this one is just accepted that like, yes, she's the one who needs to be in charge right now.
Oh.
And it's like, I think that is what makes it the best feminist movie because the woman she doesn't have to prove fully. And she doesn't have to fight her way. And a lot of it, while there's some topics that is like the characters are literally sex slaves, but it's not highly sexualized.
What the fuck?
No, yeah.
What
Like the whole plot of the movie is like basically like they're trying to escape, and the reason they're being chased is because like she spirited away like all of like the ruler's sex slaves to try and get them to freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
But they take that subject and they like because usually these characters would be highly sexualized.
Yeah.
But they really play it off to where they're victims, but they refuse to be victimized because all of the girls, while one of them is like scared and she wants to go back, they all have their own way of fighting and they don't want to be victims anymore. And they all are very individual characters too. Because a lot of the times, while they're not main characters, they'll all be kind of flat, but they all have their own personalities that are really great.
It's a good movie. You should seriously watch it. Like one of my favorite movies from that year. Easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Noted. But yeah,
Back on track.
back on track to Aeon Flux. No.
Terrible
let's get
movie
back
to
to
go back
Aeon
to.
Flux.
Oh my gosh. Why?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in similar time period, to the movies that I was watching, also Alice from Resident Evil, played by Mila Jovovich, and Celine from Underworld, Kate Beckinsale.
Kate Beckinsale.
Awesome. Oh my
I'm
god.
not gonna lie. Like the Underworld movies. I mean, I was old enough, but like, man, young Kyle definitely felt things when watching those movies.
Yeah. Okay. Kate Beckinsale, Mila Jovovich, and Charlize Theron. I would say like the holy grail, the trinity of like badass roles that they play.
Like badass women.
Yeah, badass women. But yes, I would say Underworld definitely awesome.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, those movies
in all aspects.
I mean, okay, honestly, like I rewatched the first Underworld, like I don't know, it was like on TV like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's probably not that good, but I love it anyway. And like most of its sequels are not good at all.
Yeah.
I still love them.
Yeah, it could be like one of those series that isn't good, but you still love.
Oh
like,
yeah, 110%.
It's like feel good, you know.
And she's awesome in them. Like I don't think anybody questions that.
Yeah, but I mean, other examples like in terms of Disney movies, Frozen, I would say the character of Elsa, probably the first example where that I can think of that like there didn't need to be a prince that came and
I mean, it's the whole point of that movie.
Yeah, it is, and it's great.
There's also Brave. Just saying.
Yeah.
Was it Brave before that?
Brave
Yes.
was
Yeah, I didn't see
before that.
Brave until much after that, though. I didn't see Brave until like 2 years ago.
I would also like to point out for the audience that Chase made this whole list, and he's like, I'm probably not even going to touch on Frozen. And we were like, yes, you are. You're going to read every single thing on that list. And what do you know? We were right.
But, well, because I wanted to tie that into also something that came out recently that I wanted to shift attention to something that came out recently that kind of brought that up as well was Wreck-It Ralph 2. Ralph breaks the internet. Ralph breaks the internet. It breaks the internet.
It's breaks.
It breaks. It should have been Rex.
But again, breaks the internet is. I think they have a discussion in
They
the
do.
movie.
No, it's in the trailer.
They're very
It's not in the
self-aware.
movie.
It's not
in
in
the
the
trailer.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, to be fair, I never saw the movie.
It's a good movie. But there's that scene with all the Disney princesses, and then they're asking, what's the character's name?
Vanellope.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Vanellope.
Vanellope.
They're asking Vanellope like if she's a princess or like these examples of like
Also
tropes.
in the scene. Yeah, also in the trailer.
Yeah, it's in
Yeah.
the trailer.
That's why it's not a spoiler.
Yeah, the tropes of princesses like being kidnapped or
Do you need a man to save you from all your problems?
exactly. That was the one that like they touched on. Is like, does everyone expect a man to like help you with all problems? And she's like, yes. You are a princess. Exactly. And it's like that's bullshit. But yeah, Frozen and I guess Brave definitely would be examples of like kind of breaking that. And so good. Both those movies are pretty good.
So good. Immediately downgraded to pretty good.
I saw Frozen in the theaters like 4 times.
I saw Frozen never in theaters. I saw Frozen like 2 years after it came out, like on Netflix or something.
I don't know.
I'm like, I should probably finally watch this. And I'm like, well, yeah, that was a movie. It was good.
Yeah.
Let it go. I did.
And then recently, Rogue One, the character of Jyn Erso, so cool. I have a pop of her. So awesome.
Yes. Pops.
Funko Pops.
Funko Pops, the best way to show your adulation for a character by getting like a weird amalgamation of like noticeable character traits on a tiny little distorted chibi body.
Yeah, with a big head.
Gotta love it.
Head.
That would be the chibi body part.
Yes. But Felicity Jones did a great job at portraying that character, I feel. And
I agree, because she actually didn't have that much to work with.
Yeah. And you like how I mentioned that one and not the new trilogy?
I think Jyn Erso is a stronger character than Rey.
Yeah, I would say like 100%,
Me too.
110%. She's a better character than Rey in the new
The new canon.
the new trilogy, the third trilogy.
Ray just has too much hope for me.
Too much hope?
Yeah, too much hope.
She's
She's too positive.
Isn't like that?
I know that's the point, but like,
No, Rey's biggest problem is
just
like,
can't.
when has she failed?
Right? That's my
Yeah.
other problem is that she has so much hope. She has so much positivity and she never fails.
You know what they call those characters? Mary Sue's.
Is that a thing?
Yes. You don't know about the concept of a Mary Sue?
I don't think so.
And like Marty Stews are like the male
Marty
counterpart.
Stew.
But no, it's like a character like comes in and is like perfect and never fails and is always the best. Congrats, you're amazing. You're the best. You're the best.
I mean, she had that.
Everyone loves you. You're the hope of the universe. Why? Because you are. You're
But I
the
mean,
best.
she had that arc where like she was battling with like the dark side, right?
Oh no. And then she overcame it immediately and was totally fine and
I
it all
guess
worked
so, yeah.
out. Like
Yeah.
no, like you want to see like an arc about battling the dark side, you just go to The Last Jedi's equivalency, Empire Strikes Back, where
Yeah.
Luke battled the dark side,
It loses. his
lost, went like rushed irresponsibly into danger,
Han
lost,
Solo's like all
carbonated.
No.
Yeah, Luke gets his hand
That's
chopped
right.
off.
That's right.
Like seems to attempt to commit suicide.
I totally
Yeah.
forgot about all that.
No, like that's the thing. Like that's what Last Jedi wanted to be, but they couldn't.
Yeah,
they couldn't
they
find a
couldn't.
way to, I think, end it on a non-hopeful beat.
Yeah.
Because like that is the end of
A
Empire.
new hopeful beat.
Shut up.
No.
Like the end of Empire is dark And that's why it's good. And it's also why people hated it when it first came out. It's easy to forget that historically. People hated Empire Strikes Back when it came out. They walked out of that theater like that was the least satisfying thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Now we're like, that's one of the best movies ever made.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, on that note, Carrie Fisher's Princess Leia.
Yep.
Great supporting character.
Yep. Great supporting character. Very strong, independent woman. I mean, as much
gets
as nerds,
enslaved, but still.
Yeah, as much as nerds everywhere are happy that she was in that bikini, definitely kind of hurt her image.
I didn't like
bit.
that.
But no, I mean, I don't think anybody would argue. Like, you see Princess Leia, particularly in episodes 4 and 5, like she's just a strong, badass woman who doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, and then in the new trilogy too.
Oh yeah,
I mean, General Leia.
Yeah, General Leia. Awesome. Mary Poppins her way back into the ship.
I did. That was so weird.
Mary Poppins her way back into the ship.
I'm not the first person to make that joke.
Yeah.
Well,
I wish
Poppins,
I.
yo. Back to Guardians.
Oh my god, you're just tying it all together. Look at this Chase man right here. He's just like, he's a master.
Yeah.
Do you got any like non-film examples of strong independent women?
Well, I mean, after I was gonna touch on Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel.
I
was
the last one. I'm segueing you in.
I know, but those are the last ones that I was gonna.
No, there's like other characters on this list.
I know, but it's,
okay.
I mean, it would be remiss not to mention Wonder Woman in like the most recent.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, that movie is awesome.
Awesome.
It's easy. I'd say it's easily the best of the DC extended universe movies.
Easily.
Duh.
Well, people make weird arguments. People make weird arguments.
Okay.
Aquaman was fun. I didn't hate Justice League. A lot of people did, but like Wonder Woman's awesome.
Yeah,
and she's awesome in it. I remember when people were just like up in arms about her Gal Gadot's casting, or Gal Gadot, or whatever. Gal Gadot.
Yeah, she pronounces it Gadot.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No one knows how to pronounce that poor woman's name.
She pronounces her own name Gadot.
So I guess we listened to her.
Yes,
so Gal Gadot. I remember when people were up in arms about her getting cast. And no, she's like one of the best things about those movies.
So good. I mean, I watched the movie 3 times in theaters, and like I fell asleep once in them. But
you're a bad person.
Yeah, you were asleep for most of that too.
Okay, when I go rewatch a movie, I usually fall asleep. But
why rewatch it?
Because it's so awesome.
It's so awesome getting a nap.
No, I mean that scene in the trenches when she's like running. Oh my god!
It's still crazy.
I felt so empowered.
It's still crazy to think that Patty Jenkins had to fight to get that scene in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, that's madness. It's the best scene in the movie. It's like super defining. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, that movie would be so different without that.
Yeah,
scene.
Without the trench scene. Her just emerging from that trench finally, like Donnie, like finally in the outfit, just like charging on the lines.
So fucking cool.
Yep. And another nice thing about that movie, because like it's always tough in movies when you have like a strong female character. I feel like the natural inclination is like that usually happens as a purposeful decision. Like it does. Strong female characters don't tend to just happen, which is kind of a shame because strong male characters happen all the time.
Yeah, it's kind of like defaulted to.
Yeah. But so a lot of the times I find in movies when you have like a strong female character, like the male characters definitely suffer because you want the women to feel more awesome. Mm-hmm. Wonder Woman does not have to do that. Like Chris Pine is great in that movie. He's extremely likable, definitely a hero. But
definitely not the main hero.
But at no point does he like overshadow her because she's so freaking cool. And it has nothing to do with her having superpowers or anything like that. It's just because of just, being a Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, I mean, Captain Marvel, we talked about it last week.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But still,
in that sense, it's like, it's great to have that female lead, right? But I mean, compared to Wonder Woman, I feel it's
it's nowhere near as good a movie as Wonder Woman.
Yeah. But speaking of non-film examples, one of my my favorite comic, and that I've like been reading for a while now, is the all new Wolverine.
Is that like X-23?
Yeah, X-23. Oh my god, so badass. I want to see more of X-23. The character of all new Wolverine is basically a clone of Logan.
I mean, yeah, for anybody who saw Logan.
Yeah, if you've seen Logan,
you've seen a young girl version of her.
Yeah. She grows up to be a fucking badass. In the comics, so cool. Easily my favorite character, like my favorite Marvel character, I would say. My favorite comic book character. I want to see like a movie or something else made out of that character. Especially with like the reacquisition of those, like the X-Men licenses.
That gets finalized in 3 days.
But I mean, like I said before, just the importance of having female representation in media in terms of like any media, film, movies or film. I don't know why I said that.
Film
TV shows
or movies or cinema.
TV shows.
Anything. Oh, or
Comic
if you can
books.
watch it on the big screen.
On the big screen.
On the big screen.
Books. Like as long as there is a type of role model for that isn't just a male role model, you know?
Yeah.
Those that can be like really powerful for the future in terms of having different types of people to look up to. It's not just little girls that look up to, female characters, as I am the example of.
Again, okay. I would like to remind everyone that Chase, when he told me about his topic, did describe himself as a little girl. So clearly he's biased about this opinion.
No. No, yeah, but there's definitely good that comes with, what would we describe, like diversity?
Yeah. I mean, the more diversity you have, like diversity, some people like, oh, diversity for diversity's sake. Diversity is a good thing.
Yeah.
It's better to have, more voices. Then again, I would like to make a very quick correction. Chase did not call himself a little girl. A bunch of things growing up that inspired me as a woman.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So my mistake.
That sounded a little off, but I didn't know for sure.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know how to describe myself as a little girl.
No, but definitely a woman.
Definitely a woman, though.
A strong, independent woman who does need a Cheyenne.
Who does need a Cheyenne.
Yeah, you do. You're a mess.
But yeah, I mean, thanks for tuning in.
That was a harsh.
You could re-record that.
Apparently, we're not going to.
Yeah, no, I mean, we need to re-record it. We never finished it, but I don't know how else to segue out. We segued so well earlier. I think we used our only good segue skill.
Another example?
Another example of thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to the ZymCast. Another example of a strong, independent woman is thank you for listening to the ZymCast.
Wait, no. So if you're a strong, independent woman hiding in a man's body, no.
Oh my God, let's not go there.
Wait, that's a whole different topic.
That's a whole different beast. We're already walking that trans
really
line.
hot.
We don't want to cross it because then people can be like, oh, they're just joking around. Once you cross that line, people get serious real quick.
Yeah.
Got to avoid that. No matter what your opinions are on the matter, avoid it. You don't want the internet to come down. All right, everybody. Now, thank you so much for listening to the ZymCast. We're so happy that you were here. If you enjoyed what you were listening to with good old Chase and I, and Cheyenne, I suppose she definitely chimed in a few times, you should probably follow us wherever podcasts are sold. And
Not sold. We're not charging for this. It's free.
we definitely are charging for our podcast. This
is free.
This kind of quality is definitely something that you should be charging for. I'm expecting at least $100 an episode.
Oh my God. Well,
I get 90% of that cut.
Something that you can do is follow us on Twitter at ZymMedia. If you want to, recommend something that we should talk about or just say hi.
Also, we're going to be putting our podcasts about everywhere we possibly could, on YouTube, on like Apple Podcasts and stuff. If you could rate us on Apple Podcasts, that is hugely helpful for the
yeah, that'd be nice.
No, I mean that's like hugely helpful for visuals of podcasts and stuff like that.
Yes.
And just follow us, listen to us, talk about us, share it with your friends.
Share it with your enemies.
Put it on oh yeah, definitely. Put it on a t-shirt, walk
Put a bird
around
on it. The Portlandia reference.
Wait, but we were going to make t-shirts one day.
Yeah, but until we do, they can make their own t-shirts. And then if they're really good,
just get a white.
We'll pay them a marginal sum and then just use that forever.
Yeah, get a white t-shirt, get a Sharpie, just write ZymCast on it.
And people are like, oh, what's the ZymCast? You're like, you have no idea.
I have no idea.
And they'll be like, yeah, I know. That's why I asked you what
have
the
no
ZymCast
idea.
is.
I have no idea. They have no idea. No one has any idea.
ZymCast, it's a podcast where we just talk about random ass shit.
Yeah.
And we're kind of nerdy.
Yeah.
Very nerdy. Video games come up in every episode.
And apparently,
I'm here.
Apparently,
I don't know what you want from me.
Lara Croft comes up in every episode.
I think that needs to be a thing. No matter what our topics are, we need to find a way to talk about the Alicia Vikander, Lara Croft movie every episode.
Every episode, but I think the first episode.
Anyway, thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you all for listening.
Yeah,
say.
after this topic, and then you only thank the men.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Got my heteronormative male.
Thank you, girls, so much for listening.
Yes.
Ladies.
All right. Well, thank you. See you next time.
I was Kyle Grubb.
And I was Chase Matherly.
No, we have to find your woman name.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye.